Game na? Ayan. Kapag start na, yung kay Alfred Adler, Individual Psychology. Teka, i-zoom in ko lang. Yan. Yung ano kasi ni Adler is that kabaliktaran siya ni Freud. Kasi si Adler, sa kanyang biography, isa siyang very outgoing and very gregarious na bata. Kapag sinabi natin gregarious, napaka-active niya. And dun, lumabas yung social connections na pinagsasabi niya. Social connections between people are important. Yun yung sinasabi niya. And it is true na meron talagang competition na nangyayari sa pamilya in terms of siblings. Meron talagang sibling rivalry. And doon nag-umuusbong yung theory niya, which is yung individual psychology. Ano nga ba yung individual psychology? Each person is integrated whole, striving to attain future goals and attempting to find meaning in life while working harmoniously with others, which is yung sinasabi niyang social interest or Gemeinschaftsgefühl, which is yung German word for communal feeling. It presents an optimistic view of people while resting heavily on the notion of social interest. That is a feeling of oneness with all humankind of their deepest impulses, and yung fictional finalism, which is madidiscuss, I think, dito sa 5 statements. Madidiscuss ko yan mamaya. And yung conscious intent. No? Ang ano kasi ni Freud, ang ano kasi ni Freud is that it is causality. Kapag sinabi natin causality, is that the reason why ganito ka is because of your past experiences. Ganon ang causality. Iba yung kay Adler. It is teleology. Kapag sinabi nating teleology, it means ganito ka kasi because ganito ang iniisip mo sa future. Yun ang kabaliktaran. It is the antithesis of causality. It's teleology. And ayun ang basis ng method ni Alfred Adler para makita yung personality type mo. Yan. Ang individual psychology kasi presents an optimistic view of people while resting heavily on the notion of social interest. And ano bang pinagkaiba ng individual psychology kay Freud? Pinakauna, si Freud kasi nireduce niya lahat ng motivation sa sex and aggression. Yun nga yung eros tsaka yung thanatos. Yung kay Adler kasi, baliktad. People are motivated mostly by their social influences and by striving for superiority or success, which is madidiscuss rin yan mamaya. Yun yung dynamic or drive ni Adler, is that we are striving for personal superiority or success. Pangalawa is that kay Freud kasi ina-assume niya that people have little or no choice in shaping their personality kasi nga psychosexual theory. Lahat tayo may unconscious sexual motivation brought forth by our Oedipal complex. Kay Adler kasi, ang sinasabi niya, people are largely responsible for who they are, which is very humanistic. Nakuha niya to kay Maslow tsaka kay Rogers. It's very humanistic. Pero psychodynamic siya. And pangatlo kasi yung assumption ni Freud na lahat ng present behavior is caused by past experiences. Yun nga, yung causality. Kay Adler naman kasi, the present behavior is shaped by people's view of the future. It's teleology. Yun. And fourth, si Freud kasi, binigyan na ng heavy emphasis yung unconscious components of behavior. Pero si Adler, naniniwala siya na lahat ng mga tao, psychologically healthy people, aware tayo sa mga ginagawa natin at kung bakit ginagawa natin itong bagay na to. And as we have seen, no, si Adler kasi isa siyang original member ng ang tawag dito, parang commune ni Freud. Kasi follower siya ni Freud dati. Nasama kasi siya sa isang Wednesday meeting. Yun, Wednesday evenings to discuss yung psychological topics ng psychoanalysis. Pero nagkaroon ng argument. No, kasi sinasabi ni Adler, since lahat naman tayo in favor of psychoanalysis, bakit bawal kami mag-contribute? Bakit si Sigmund Freud lang ang laging pwede mag-contribute? Lahat naman tayo may general direction, which is to prove na yung psychoanalysis is yung best psychological assessment for an individual. Pero ang sabi kasi ni Freud, mali, dapat ako lang. And doon nagkaroon ng away. Adler left the Freud circle and established an opposing theory, which became known as yung individual psychology. Yan. So, dito na tayo sa statements, sa tenets of individual psychology. You know? One's dynamic force behind people's behavior is striving for success or superiority. Ano ba yung pagsabihin nito? Si Adler kasi, nireduce niya ang motivation sa isang single drive. Yun nga, yung striving for success or superiority. Ano yung pagsabihin niyan? Is that yung physical deficiencies natin brings about our feeling of inferiority. Kasi, etong individual psychology na to holds that everyone begins life with physical deficiencies. Lahat tayo may weak bodies, fragile bodies. Sinasabi ni Adler that we are blessed to have weak organs. We are so blessed na napaka unhealthy natin physically, which is the catalyst for giving us the reason for success or superiority. Yun. And psychologically unhealthy people strive for personal superiority, whereas psychologically healthy people seek for success in all humanity. Ano bang pinagkaiba nitong dalawa na to? But before that, no, kailangan muna nating ma-understand ano nga ba yung original drive psychoanalysis of Sigmund Freud. And then, binago naman niya, ginawa niyang masculine protest. Pag sinabi nating masculine protest, it is the domination of others, implied will, para magkaroon ng kapangyarihan. And then, sinabi niya, no, gawin na lang nating striving for success and striving for superiority. Anong pinagkaiba ng dalawa? Kapag sinabi nating striving for personal superiority, is that ito yung meron tayong presence of inferiority complex, exaggerated yung physical deficiencies natin. Masyadong OA tayo, which leads to gaining personal superiority. Dito umuusbong yung mga murderers, dito umuusbong yung mga thieves, yung mga con artists, kasi they are for personal striving, pang sarili mo lang. And meron nga mga ibang tao, some people create clever disguises for their personal striving and may act consciously na pang success. Anong pagsabihin nun? For example, merong professor na sinasabi, pwede lang kayo mag-open up sa akin. May intindihan ko yung mga situations ninyo, pwede kayo mag-grant sa akin. Ay may isang estudyante na grant. And then, ang professor na to, chinika niya sa mga ka-coworkers niya. That is a form of personal superiority. Kasi, this is withholding information. This is private intelligence na sa professor lang meron. And it's not for good use. Chinichika mo ang problema ng bata where that should be yun, yung law of ano ba tawag dito? Yung law of privacy na meron tayo sa patient natin. Not even patient, kahit kanino. Kapag sa'yo lang nag-open up, para sa'yo lang yan. You don't have to give it to other people. Because that is a form of striving for superiority. Yun. Ang personal superiority, it's motivated by exaggerated feelings of personal inferiority. Yun. And kapag sinabi nating striving for success, this is for good. Altruistic tayo. It's motivated by social interest and the success of all humankind. Sa madaling salita, kapag superiority, pansarili, kapag success, para sa lahat, humankind. And they're capable of helping others without demanding or expecting a payoff. Kapag wala kang utang na loob, kapag tumulong ka sa isang tao. No? And we don't see our opponents as enemies. Rather, we see them as cooperating for social benefit. No? And we see problems for society, not personal. Kapag meron tayong problema, we often see it as, hindi lang ako ang nagkakaroon ng problema to, pang lahat to. That is striving for success. And yun ang good ending. And ang bad ending is personal superiority. Pangalawa, people's subjective perceptions shape their behavior and personality. Dito papasok yung fictionalism. Ano ba yung pagsabi ng fictionalism? Ito yung goal that we create early in life and may not clearly understand. Fictionalism. It is the goal itself that we have. No? Ito yung subjective perceptions na sinasabi ni Adler. Our fictions, our expectations for the future. For example, no? Men are superior to women. Wala namang talagang totoong basis na ang men ay mas superior sa woman. Pero, we act as if totoo yan. That is a fiction. That is a form of fiction. Hindi naman totoo that men are superior than women. Equal lang tayo. Pero, it is a fiction. And we act as if totoo yan. And that is why nagkakaroon ng gender inequality. Madaming sexual harassment from women. Another thing is that humans have free will that enables them to make choices. Fiction lang yan. Mapapatunayan mo ba na may free will ang isang tao? Imposible. Pero we act as if totoo yan. That is why we are believing na meron tayong pen na sinusulat ang sarili nating buhay. That is fictionalism. It gives our fictional final goal, guiding our style of life and gives unity to our personality. Yon. And another thing is si God. No? That is also an example of a fiction. Merong omnipotent God that rewards good and punishes evil. We act as if totoo yan. Kaya meron tayong moral values, religious beliefs. Yun ang subjective perceptions that shape behavior and personality. Napakalakas ng fiction. Napakalakas ng influence niyan sa buhay mo. Kaya, for example, sa Nazis, ang lahat ng mga Hudyo ay masasamang tao. It's fiction. Mapapatunayan mo ba lahat ng mga Hudyo ay masasamang tao? No. Pero they act as if yan ang katotohanan. And that is why that shapes their behavior and personality. Pangatlo, personality is unified and self-consistent. At pagsabihin yan is that we stress the belief na yung each person is unique and indivisible. Inconsistent behavior does not exist. And ang mga thoughts, feelings, and actions natin all directed towards a single goal and serve a purpose. Yun ang personality is unified and self-consistent. And last, the value of all human activity must be seen from the viewpoint of social interest, which is yung Gemeinschaftsgefühl, the feeling of oneness with all humanity. No? Ang Gemeinschaftsgefühl kasi, it is the ideal community for all, not for personal superiority. Para sa lahat. In a sense, parang you are concerned for your neighbors. You are concerned sa pamumuno ng isang mayor. You are concerned for the common good of your country. In a sense, parang kabayanihan. Pero it's more on local community. Itong social interest na to, it's naturally adhesive that binds people together. And lahat naman tayo, nung pinanganak tayo, lahat tayo inferior. Lahat tayo, we have a sense of physical deficiencies. Physical feelings of inferiority. And nakukultivate ang social interest sa child rearing. Sa nanay tsaka sa tatay. Kapag mahal ka ng nanay mo, mahal ka ng tatay mo, maganda yung pagpapalaki sa'yo, you have social interest. Yun. It is a potentiality in everyone. Mother-child relationship during the early months of infancy. Every person who has survived infancy, merong social interest. And it is up to us kung gusto nating itaas ang social interest or walang pake. Mababa lang yung social interest. Yun. And 5 and 6. The self-consistent personality structure develops into a person's style of life. Kapag sinabi nating style of life, ito yung flavor, the product of interaction with heredity, environment, and a person's creative power. Kapag sinabi nating creative power, this is the way in which we transform ourselves. By the age of 4 to 5, meron na tayong creative power. We already have a set goal in mind sa buhay natin. And success is subjective. For example, sa isang tao, ang success para sa kanya ay meron na siyang sarili niyang apartment na matitiran. Ang success naman ng isang tao is meron na siyang sarili niyang small business. Ang success naman ng isang tao ay gusto niya maging milyonaryo. That is different. Success is subjective. And that is because of the creative power that lies between us, all of us, when we reach 4 to 5 years of age, which is a fictional final goal that will help us understand the process of um, attaining that goal. So, yan, ang pinaka malaki dito is yung success or superiority. Pinaka ano siya. Ito yung heart ng individual psychology is that lahat tayo may physical deficiencies and then we have that feelings of inferiority and then yung inferiority na yun ay nagkakaroon ng catalyst. It's either we have normal feelings of incompletion by means na, ay, meron akong feelings of inferiority, let me work on this. And meron namang isa, exaggerated feelings, napaka-OA. Parang, ay, bakit ako ganito? Napaka inferior ko naman. Hindi ko alam kung ano gagawin ko dito. Ang gagawin ko na lang is gagawin kong for personal gain. Para makaangat ako sa ibang tao. Napakalakas ng insecurity mo. Exaggerated feelings. Kapag normal feelings of incompletion, magkakaroon ka ng social interest. And then social interest will lead to success. Which means that your final goal is clearly perceived. Kapag exaggerated naman yung feelings mo, you have personal gain, which leads to personal superiority. And yung final goal mo ay dimly perceived lang. Isa lang ang nakikita mong goal, and yung goal na yun ay para sa'yo lang. Hindi para sa beneficio, para hindi para sa benefit ng society. So, biography ni Alfred Adler. So, pinanganak siya ng February 7, 1870 sa Vienna, Austria. And napaka-weak and sick niya. Dito pumasok yung concept ng physical deficiency sa kanya. Kasi napaka-weak niyang bata. Merong isang story na nung high school, dito, nagpa-participate siya sa gymnasium, physical education. Napaka-pangit ng track record niya sa PE. Na yung sarili niyang tatay, tinethreaten siyang patanggalin sa eskwelahan dahil napaka physically ano ba tawag dito? Pangit yung performance niya. Essentially. Yeah. His poor health was in sharp contrast to the health of his older brother Sigmund. Dito nagkakaroon yung family constellation na concept na inano yun sa individual psychology. Wherein itong family constellation na to, kapag firstborn child ka, napaka-high ng anxiety mo. Napaka-exaggerated ng feelings of power mo. You have very much unconscious hostility towards your younger siblings. Yun yung concept of family constellation. And etong si Sigmund na to, ang dami niyang hatred towards sa kanyang older brother. Kasi nakikita niya na napaka-physically active ng kanyang brother, pero siya, napaka-weak niya. Which leads to feeling of inferiority. Doon yung nagkaroon ng concept for the individual psychology. Ayan, nakalagay dito. Earliest memories niya ay concerned with unhappy competition with his brother's good health and own interests. And then, nung 1907, na-publish siya yung study of organ inferiority and its physical compensation. Dito pumapasok yung organ dialect. And then, kapag tapos siya ng doctorate in medicine in 1895 from the University of Vienna. Hindi siya katulad ni Freud na nag-excel. Average lang siya. Yun yung track record niya dyan sa University of Vienna. And he wrote the book, The Practice and Theory in Individual Psychology. And he died at the age of 67 while on a lecture in Scotland. Ang story dito kung paano siya namatay is that yung isa niyang anak na si Vali nahuli ng Soviet Union. Kasi bawal kang magprotesta sa Soviet Union nung mga panahon na yun. Napaka-stricto nila. Parang North Korea yung Russia dati, Soviet Union. And nahuli yung anak niya. Siyempre, sa sobrang anxiety ng nararamdaman ni Adler, siyempre, as a father, napakalaking emotional weight nun. Namatay siya dahil doon habang nagle-lecture siya sa Scotland. Yun. Next, ano na yung concepts ni Adler? Organ inferiority theory. People are more vulnerable to disease and organs that are less developed or inferior than other organs. Dito pumapasok yung feelings of inferiority. Etong organ dialect naman, speak a language in which is usually more expressive and discloses the individual's opinion more clearly than words are able to do. Ano pag ipagsabihin ng organ dialect? Etong ano kasi, the disturbance of one part of the body cannot be viewed in isolation. It affects the entire person. Yun ang sinasabing organ dialect ni Alfred Adler. Okay. Nakala ko may nag-message. Etong organ dialect na to is okay, for example, merong merong bata. Napaka-obedient niya sa kanyang magulang. Pero he wets the bed. Aksidente siyang umiihi sa kanyang higaan. Which creates organ dialect. Ipagsabihin, yung mother niya ay opposed sa kanyang magulang. He sends a message na he does not wish to obey parental wishes. Iba ang sinasabi ng kanyang bibig sa sinasabi ng kanyang mga organs. Isa pang example. Yung isang tao, nagsasuffer siya ng rheumatoid arthritis. So yung ano niya, kamay niya stiff and deformed joints sa kanyang mga kamay. And sinasabi niya, see my deformity. You cannot expect me to do manual work. Pero his hands desire for sympathy for others. Ibang sinasabi niya. You cannot expect me to do manual work. Yun ang sinasabi ng bibig niya. Pero yung sinasabi ng kamay niya, yes, I can. I can try. Iba. Cynicism yung sinasabi ng bibig niya, hopefulness ang sinasabi ng mga daliri niya. That is organ dialect. Mas accurate daw ang sinasabi or ine-express ng organs mo kaysa sa bibig mo. That is organ dialect. Feelings of inferiority. Ayan, nasabi ko na yan so many times. Feelings of being weak since they are completely dependent upon adults for survival. Normal naman tayo lahat na nagkakaroon ng inferiority. Especially sa mga siblings mo. Yun nga, kapag firstborn ka, nagkaroon ka ng younger brother or younger sister, trauma na yan. Traumatic dethronement ang sinasabi ni Adler dyan. Bakit? Lahat ng attention, lahat ng love, lahat ng care, hindi na yan nakafocus. Nakafocus na yan sa kapatid mo, sa younger brother or sister mo. That is an example of feeling inferiority. And, meron pa. Lahat naman ng baby, hindi kayang maging self-sufficient para sa kanila. That is the commonality in which all of us have. The feeling of inferiority. Hindi natin kaya na i-take care ang sarili natin. Kasi nga, we're babies. Wala tayong conscious power pa doon. Striving for success or superiority, sinabi niya yung masculine protest, which is the dominating aspect of what we want to be. Yun ang sinasabi niya. Which is male-dominated society is an artificial product of historical development. Many men and women overemphasize the importance of being manly. Ayan yung condition na sinatawag niyang masculine protest. Ayan. When a person becomes overwhelmed by feelings of inferiority, prevented from accomplishing anything, itong inferiority na to, it acts as a barrier for positive accomplishment. Yan. Yan ang striving for superiority. It is an innate need built in all human beings at birth. At a massive motive which leads people in a pursuit of superior or perfect society. Ito yung superiority complex na meron sa isang tao if exaggerated yung feelings of inferiority niya. Masyado siyang domineering, masyadong vain, masyadong boastful, masyadong pansarili. Lack social interest and is indeed undesirable. Ito nga yung bad ending na sinasabi ko. Kapag striving for superiority ka, bad ending ka. Yung fictional final goal mo, hindi yan na-succeed. Next is yung style of life. Yun nga yung flavor na sinabi ko kanina. It's by which an individual attempts to gain superiority. Lifestyle determines which aspect of life are focused and how it gives a person individual identity. Yun ang style of life, which is, yun. People with a healthy, socially useful style of life express their social interest through action. Kapag unhealthy yung style of life mo, you are rigid living, inflexible, inability to choose yung mga ways mag-react sa environment. Whereas life mo is very much diverse and flexible. You find many ways to strive for your success. Yun ang pinagkaibahan ng unhealthy style of life sa healthy style of life. Ayan, Gemeinschaftsgefühl. It is the innate need of all human beings to live in a or community to inspire for the development of a perfect society. It does not mean kapag, for example, charitable kang isang tao, donate ka ng donate sa mga non-government organizations. That does not mean that you have achieved Gemeinschaftsgefühl. Iba yon. Because there are some people na nagdo-donate para ma-express yung social standing nila sa society. Nagdo-donate ako para ma-remind ko sa inyong lahat na may kakayahan akong makapag-donate and lahat kayo wala. Inferior kayo. Ako ang superior. Kasi ako ang nagpo-provide ng funding para sa inyong mga nasa laylayan. Hindi yun an example of Gemeinschaftsgefühl. That is still striving for personal superiority. That is a form of social interest. Porket charitable kang isang tao, that doesn't make you good. Kasi if yung intentions mo, katulad nga ng sinabi ko, if yung intentions mo ay para lamang mapakita or ma-flex sa mga unfortunate people na may kakayahan kang magbigay, that is not social interest. Yun. Next is naman yung 3 major tasks in life to be able to develop social interest. Ano nga ba? Number 1 is occupational task. Through constructive work, the person helps to advance society. Kapag sinabi nating occupational task, these are mingling with concepts. Occupational, constructive work, building interpersonal relationships through the use of concepts. Next is social tasks. This requires cooperation with fellow humans. Yun nga. Professors, psychologists, guidance counselors, lecturers, so on and so forth. Yun. Mga social tasks, yun. Love and marriage tasks. Relationship between these tasks and the continued of society is clear. Yun ang sinasabi ni Adler. Relationships are essential. No man is an island, ang sinasabi ni Adler, essentially. Kasi nga, in order to achieve social interest, we have to mingle with people. We have to look at our community and we have to help our community. Yun. Ito ang 3 major tasks. Ano naman yung 4 types of people according to the degree of social interests? Kasi meron rin yan. Categorization yan ni Adler. Number 1 is ruling dominant type. Mababang level of social interest. Attempts to rule or dominate people. Ito yung mga psychologically unhealthy. Ang baba na nga ng social interest nila for personal gain pa ang reason for their success. Personal superiority. Next is getting learning type. Expects everything from others and gets everything he or she can from them. Essentially, dito yung abnormal development, yung external factor of maladjustment. pampered style of life ang getting learning type. Which means na mababa na yung social interest nila and they expect others to look after them, to overprotect them, entitled to be the first in everything. Spoiled. Next is avoiding type. Succeed in life by avoiding problems. Such a person avoids failure by never attempting anything. An example of hesitation, so withdrawal, no? And yung hesitating. Compulsive behaviors are attempt to waste time. Kapag hindi ako gumalaw, I am technically not succeeding nor failing. I am stagnant. They preserve their integrated sense of self-esteem. Avoiding ka nga eh. You are withdrawing, safeguarding through distance. Next is yung socially useful type. Ito ang pinakamataas na social interest na meron sa isang tao. Confronts problem and attempts to solve them in a socially useful way. Napakalaki ng Gemeinschaftgefühl na present sa isang tao na to. Is that you are very humanistic. You look at a problem not for yourself but for the society. Yun ang 4 types of people according to the degree of social interest. Next, yung concept of creative power na na-discuss ko na kanina. Itong creative power na to is yung crowning achievement as a personality theorist. Human beings are not simply passive recipients. Active tayo. We are the makers of who we are. Kaya nga sinasabi ni Adler, we are conscious of our behaviors. We know exactly what we are doing and we know exactly why we are doing these things. Yun ang essentially yung sinasabi na creative power. It is empowered with the freedom to create his or her style of life. All people are responsible for who they are and how they behave. Yun. Concept is equals to movement. Most salient characteristic of life. Kasi nga, primary na ano ba tawag dito? Ang primary na gumagawa sa component natin is number 1 yung heredity. Pangalawa yung environment. Yung secondary is our personality through the use of creative power. Yon. Adler's concept of abnormal development. According to Adler, the one factor underlying all types of maladjustments is underdeveloped social interests. Number 1, masyadong mataas yung goals ng isang tao. Unrealistic. Number 2 is they live in their own private world. Hindi sila nakikipag-mingle sa communities nila. Sarado sila. And number 3 is that they have a rigid and dogmatic style of life. Yung style of life nila napaka, not only negative, for their own benefit. Dogmatic style of life. They are spoiled. No? Yun. And etong sinasabi na they live in their own private world is that sinasabi dito ni Adler na ito ang mga private meetings. The viewpoints are not in focus of other individuals. Private meetings lang siya. Yun ang sinasabi ni Adler. External factors which tend to create a faulty lifestyle. Number 1 is yung exaggerated physical deficiencies, pagiging OA mo sa sarili mong inferiority. People with exaggerated physical deficiencies sometimes develop exaggerated feelings of inferiority because they overcompensate for inadequacy. Kapag sinabi natin exaggerated physical deficiencies, hindi lang yung talagang may exaggerated physical deficiency. For example, pinanganak kang yung daliri mo hindi physically okay, physically deformed. That is exaggerated. Meron ring mga things na exaggerated physical deficiencies. Like for example, sa tingin mo masyado ka ng mataba. Sa katotohanan naman, hindi naman talagang mataba. Pero sa tingin mo, you are very, very fat. That is an exaggeration of physical deficiencies. And with these exaggerated physical deficiencies, whether talagang totoo siya or within the concept of your own mind, fiction, yun nga, napakalaki ng fiction sa influence ng pag-iisip mo, they develop exaggerated feelings of inferiority. Kapag exaggerated na yung feelings of inferiority mo, you will tend to think of yourself and not others. They overcompensate for their inadequacy. Kaya nagiging dominant ang mga tao. Kaya nagiging boastful, vainful, napaka-aggressive. It's because they project their physical deficiencies to overcompensate for their inadequacy. Pangalawa, pampered style of life. Essentially, napaka-spoiled. Weak na nga yung social interest, they have a strong desire to perpetuate the pampered, parasitic relationships. Kapag sinabi natin parasitic relationship, yung parents mo bigay na sa'yo, which leads to a parasitic relationship. Gusto mo na ikaw na ang magkokontrol ng buhay mo. Pero, sinasabi mo lang yan. Facade mo lang yan. Ang sa katotohanan, you still want to be overprotected. You still want to be pampered, spoiled. Yan nga. Yung mga parents kasi, they demonstrate a lack of love by doing too much for them. Kapag ni-spoiled ka, hindi kasi mahal na mahal ka nila. Kasi yung mga magulang mo, sa tingin mo, hindi mo kaya mabigyan ng solusyon ang mga problema mo. Ang pagiging spoiled, hindi pagsabihin mahal na mahal ka nila. Pagsabihin, masyado kang inept. Hindi mo kaya yung sarili mo. Kaya bigay sila ng bigay sa'yo. Lack of love. And they are treating them as if they are incapable of solving their own problems. Kaya dito, nagkakaroon ng spoiled personality trait. And lumalaki pa ang inferiority feelings ng isang bata. Yun ang pampered style of life. Pangatlo is neglected style of life. Children who feel unloved and unwanted. Hindi naman totoo yung statement na yan according kay Adler. Kapag nakasurvive ka ng infancy, that means that you are somewhat loved. Pero beyond the realms of infancy, kapag ages 3 pataas, dun na yung essence of feeling unloved and unwanted. And dito lang natas yung distrustful na mga neglected style of life sa mga ibang tao, unable to cooperate to the common welfare. Little social interest, little confidence, overestimate yung difficulty ng mga problema nila. Hindi pa sila ano ba yung Tagalog? Sa English na nga lang. They are already complaining even though their feet hadn't touched the water yet. Hindi ka pa nga nakakapagsimula sa problema mo, nagrereklamo ka na agad. Iniisip mo, hindi ko to kaya. That's neglected style of life. Yun. And they are envious towards other people's success. They are generally more suspicious according kay Adler, and they iwasan because they are dangerous. They are the bad part of society. Yung mga taong that possess neglected style of life. Next is yung safeguarding techniques. Tendencies pala. Patterns of behavior to protect their exaggerated sense of self-esteem against public disgrace. Itong mga protective devices na to, it enables people to hide their inflated self-image to maintain their current style of life. Anong pinagkaiba nito sa defense mechanisms ni Freud? Kapag sa defense mechanisms ni Freud, unconscious siya. And everybody has these, like for example, sa regression, lahat naman tayo nagre-regress. Sa sublimation, lahat naman tayo nagsa-sublimation. Identification, lahat tayo nagkakaroon ng identification. Common to everyone ang defense mechanisms. Pangatlo, it protects the ego from anxiety-provoking material. That is defense mechanism. Kapag sinabi naman nating safeguarding tendencies, conscious siya. And reference to the construction of neurotic symptoms. Under special circumstances lang magkakaroon ng safeguarding tendencies. Hindi lahat ng tao ay magbibigay ng safeguarding tendencies on a specific situation. Kasi nga, ang minimeasure dyan, yung gauge ng isang tao is their level of social interest. Kapag mataas ang social interest mo, hindi ka magbibigay ng safeguarding tendencies. Ang self-esteem mo ay hindi fragile. Kapag mababa ang social interest mo, that means dito ka lang magkakaroon ng safeguarding tendencies. And it is to shield the self-esteem. Patterns of behavior to protect the exaggerated sense of self-esteem. Yun nga. Common safeguarding techniques. Number one is excuses. In this protective device, people first state what they claim they would like to do or something that sounds good to others, then they follow it up with an excuse. Typically expressed in yes, but, or if only format. Like, for example, yes, yes, I would like to go to college, but my children demand too much of my attention. Or, if only my husband was more supportive, I would have advanced faster in my um, career. Yun ang mga excuses. Etong excuses na to, they protect a weak but artificially inflated sense of self-worth and dinideceive yung mga tao in believing that they are more superior than they actually are. Ibig sabihin, rating mo sa mga tao na wala sa control mo. Kasi nga nag-excuse ka. Yes, I would like to go to college, but my children demand too much of my attention. Ang pinaparating mo, may kakayahan ka makapunta sa college. Pero hindi. You are deceiving people into believing that they are superior than they really are. Yun nga. Next is yung aggression. Ito nga mga examples. Ayan. Next is aggression. Protective device used to safeguard the exaggerated superiority complex, that is, to protect their fragile self-esteem. Safeguarding through aggression may take form in deprecation, accusation, or self-accusation. Kapag deprecation, tendency to undervalue other people's achievements and to overvalue one's own. For example, kaya lang siya natanggap kasi galing siyang South Africa. Kaya lang siya natanggap kasi magaling siya sa English. Deprecation. Undervalue other people's achievements and to overvalue one's own. Yun. That is deprecation. To belittle another so that the person in comparison will be placed in a favorable light. Next is accusation. Tendency to blame others for one's failure and to seek revenge, thereby safeguarding one's own tenuous self-esteem. I wanted to be an artist, but my parents forced me to go to medical school. Now I have a job that makes me miserable. Yun nga, you are essentially seeking revenge. Kanino? Sa mga magulang mo. Instead of owning up to the mistake that you have made, you are blaming others. Accusation. Next is self-accusation, marked by self-torture, including masochism, depression, and suicide as a means of hurting people who are close to them. Kapag sinabi natin self-accusation, devaluing oneself to inflict suffering upon others. Dinidevalue mo yung sarili mo para lahat ng mga tao na nasa paligid mo ay masasaktan. For example, I feel distressed because I wasn't nicer to my grandmother while she was still living. Now it's too late. Sa mga tao na nasa paligid mo, they will feel hurt. Kasi nga, ikaw, you feel distressed. You feel depressed. Kasi nga, you weren't nicer to your grandmother while she was still alive. Now, it was too late. Essentially, itong self-accusation na to, it devalues yourself, parang in a sense, gaslighting. Yun ang self-accusation. And ayun ang 3 under ng aggression. Kapag sa withdrawal naman, iba. It is the style of running away from difficulties. Safeguarding technique through distance. Other recognized 4 modes of safeguarding through withdrawal. 4 na types yan. Number 1 is moving backward. This is the tendency to safeguard one's fictional goal of superiority by psychologically reverting to a more secure part of life. Yun. Kapag sinabi nating moving backwards, magkaiba siya sa regression. Kapag sinabi nating regression, yun nga, it takes place unconsciously and protects people from anxiety-filled experiences. Kapag moving backwards naman, may sometimes be conscious and direct at maintaining an inflated goal of superiority. Etong moving backwards na to, ang pinaparating mo dito, bigyan mo ka ng sympathy. The deleterious attitude offered so generously pampered to children. Yun ang moving backwards. Next is standing still. They avoid all responsibilities by ensuring themselves against any threat of failure. You are not succeeding, nor you are failing. You are stagnant. Ito yung standing still. And pangatlo is hesitating. This includes procrastination, which eventually gives them the excuse it's too late. Yun ang compulsive behaviors that attempt to waste time na sinabi ko kanina. Why? Because they preserve their inflated sense of self-esteem. Yan. Some people hesitate or vacillate when faced with difficult problems. Procrastination nga yung main concept ng hesitating. And yun. Ang meron kasi sa hesitating, ang example dito, destroying work that was already begun. Kasi sa tingin mo, matagal pa naman yan, scrap ko na tong gawain na to. That's hesitating. Yun. Last is yung pinakamadali na maintindihan, constructing obstacles. People use the safeguarding tendency creates a problem and showing people that they are capable of overcoming the problem or the obstacle that they created. Napakalala ng inferiority complex mo to the point na gagawa ka ng sarili mong problema and isosolve mo para may mapatunayan ka lang na may sense of control sa buhay mo. Yun. Some people build straw houses to show that they can knock it down. For example, magkakaroon ka ng away sa isang kaibigan mo. And then the next day, biglang nagbatian kayo. You are essentially just trying to prove sa ibang tao na I can create my own problems and I can solve my own problems. I have superiority over you. Yun ang pinapadating ng constructing obstacles. Ano naman yung application sa individual psychology? Next is family constellation. Mahalaga ang birth order, ang gender of siblings, and the age spread between them. Gaano ba kalayo ang age mo sa age ng kapatid mo? Pero ang ano kasi dito, people's perception of the situation into which they were born is more important than numerical rank. Adler did form some general hypotheses about birth order. Kapag sinabi nating firstborn, napaka-intensified feelings of power and superiority and high anxiety. Dito nga sinasabi ko yung traumatic dethronement, which is kapag nagkaroon ka ng younger sibling, lahat ng attention, lahat ng love, lahat ng care ay mapupunta sa younger sibling na yon. Yun ang pinaka core for the family constellation of firstborn children is kapag nagkaroon na ng younger sibling, you have traumatic development. Next is sa second-born children. Begin life in a better situation for developing cooperation and social interest. Typically, itong mga second-born na to is mature towards moderated competitiveness, having a healthy desire to overtake the older rival. Ito ang meron si Adler. Napakaganda pakinggan ng second-born children kasi second-born child siya. Kaya, syempre, hindi niya sasiraan yung sarili niya. Kaya ganito yung definition niya for second-born children. Kapag second-born children ka daw, the perception of the older child's attitude towards them. Kapag yung perception ng mga magulang sa first child ay mabait, kokopyahin yun ng second child. Magiging mabait rin yung second child. Child matures to moderate competitiveness and meron nga siyang desire to overtake. And dito rin papasok yung the child is likely to develop a revolutionary attitude and feel that any authority can be challenged. If yung success is achieved, they may form some form of revolutionary attitude. Next is yung youngest children. Ito yung most pampered, pinaka-spoiled, and consequently run a high risk of being problem children. They are likely to have strong feelings of inferiority and to lack a sense of independence. They are often highly motivated to exceed older siblings and to become the fastest runner, etc. Anything na looking forward to exceeding yung mga older siblings niya. And ayun. Next is yung only children. Yan, meron pang only children. Yung mga nag-iisa lang sa pamilya. Unique position. Hindi siya for competing nor against, pero rebellion. Against father and mother. Living in an adult world, they often develop an exaggerated sense of superiority and inflated self-concept. Ang mga only child kasi, they expect other people to pamper them and to protect them. Kaya nga meron tayong sa abnormal development, yung pampered style of life sa maladjustment. Yun. Most common yun sa only child. Essentially, kapag sa oldest child, nurturing and protective, pero highly anxious, yung feelings ng power, unconscious hostility sa mga younger siblings niya, highly critical of others, uncooperative. Kapag sinabi mo namang second child, it's highly motivated, moderately competitive. Pero, yun nga, easily discouraged. Kasi nga kapag yung feeling of inferiority, yung yung older sibling, tino-talk down yung second child. Kapag sa youngest child naman, napaka-realistically ambitious, pero may pampered style of life, spoiled, dependent on others, wanting to excel in everything, napaka-unrealistically ambitious naman niya. So parang double-edged sword yung youngest child. Kapag only child, very socially mature, pero napakalaki ng superiority niya. Exage. Low feelings of cooperation. Ibig sabihin, mababa yung Gemeinschaftsgefühl niya, yung social interest. Inflated sense of self and pampered style of life rin. Same lang rin sa youngest child. Next is yung early recollections. Early recollections, ito yung may yield clues for understanding a patient's style of life. Like, recalled memories to understand na etong reconstruction of events makes them consistent with a theme or pattern that runs through their lives. Like, for example, merong isang lalaki na nagpa-therapy kay Adler. And sabi niya, I was going with my mother and little brother to the market. Suddenly, it began to rain, and my mother took me in her arms. And then, remembering that I was the older, she put me down and took up my younger brother instead. Etong recollection na to, nung bata siya, ang sabi ni Adler, kaya pala napakalaki ng distrust mo sa mga kababaihan. Kasi nga, pumasok yung kliyente na to, sinasabi niya, Hoy Adler, napakalaki ng distrust ko sa mga women, hindi ko alam kung bakit. And sabi ni Adler, sige nga, magbigay ka ng earliest recollection mo nung bata ka that relates to your mother. And then, ayun yung sinabi ng pasyente. Pag sabihin, itong early recollections na to, it gives the understanding na, kaya pala ganito siya. And kaya pala ganito yung tingin niya sa mga kababaihan. Not causality, teleology. Kaya ka ganito is because of what you believe in through your early recollections. Next is dreams, wherein a person's dreams are used to provide a way of dealing with a person's life problems, analyzing how to confront problems and how to plan future events through dream analysis. Ito yung golden rule. Sa dream analysis na to, papasok yung golden rule of individual psychology, which is that everything can be different. If sa tingin mo yung interpretation mo ng kanyang dream ay mali, and then try another one. Yun. Next is psychotherapy. Maganda yung psychotherapy na ginagawa ni Adler essentially sa mga bata. Kapag sa bata kasi, ang goal ng psychotherapy is to lessen feelings of inferiority, encourage social interest, and lastly is yung enhance courage ng mga bata. Yung kay Adler kasi, inaano niya yung mga bata, binibigyan niya ng therapy sa harap ng kanilang mga magulang and sa komunidad, which teaches the child that their problems are not for themselves, but they are in fact the community's problems. Ang problema ng bata ay nalalaman ng bata na ang kanyang problema ay hindi lamang pansarili. Concern yan ng lahat ng community. Yun ang ginagawa ni Adler. He believed that a warm, nurturing attitude by the therapist encourages patients to expand their social interests. Maganda yung relationship mo, not in a sense na counter-transference, which is yung may physical, attachment ka na sa patient mo, either romantically, emotionally. Hindi ganon. Hindi siya counter-transference. It is putting yourself in the shoes of your patient professionally. to pursue them, to change their attitude towards the child. Parang yung mga parents, no? Si Adler kasi hindi lang kina-counsel yung mga bata, pati na rin yung mga magulang. Because social connections are important in his view. Ang relationship within one another ay malaki in order to make you a psychologically healthy individual. And ayun ang kabuuan ng individual psychology ni Alfred Adler.